Better days are coming, and I know it's hard to see sometimes. In the midst of struggles, it may feel like the weight of the world is too much to bear. But let me tell you this, you are stronger than you realize. You have faced challenges before, and you have overcome them. There is nothing in this world that can hold you back if you hold on to hope. You may feel as though the road ahead is long and uncertain. But remember, every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the light at the end of the tunnel. The storm will pass, and the skies will clear. You will rise again. The beauty of life is that change is inevitable. Just as the night fades today, your hardships too will fade into the past. Your journey is far from over, and the best chapters are yet to be written. Trust in the process, and know that every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth. Hold your head high, because every setback is a setup for a comeback. Your strength, your courage, your resilience will guide you through. Believe that the best is yet to come, because it is. Better days are not just a hope, they are a promise. They are a promise that with patience, persistence, and faith, everything will align in its perfect time. Keep moving forward, because brighter days are on the horizon. So, no matter where you stand right now, no matter how heavy the burden, know this: you are not alone. And better days are coming. You just have to believe it. Hope is a quiet thing. It doesn't always shout, but it's there, nestled deep within, a soft whisper that tells you, no matter how dark things seem, there's always something waiting on the other side. In the hardest of times, when it feels like you're caught in a storm, with no way out, hope becomes the steady hand that pulls you through. It's not about ignoring the pain or pretending the road is easy. It's about knowing deep in your soul that this moment will pass. You see, hope doesn't demand that you stand tall every day. It's patient. It waits for you to gather your strength. It waits for the right moment. And it never asks you to do more than you can. When the weight of the world seems unbearable and every step feels like you're wading through mud, that hope doesn't abandon you. It's in the breath you take, in the courage you muster to keep moving, even when you're not sure where the road leads. It's that quiet belief, the feeling deep inside that says this is not the end. This is just a chapter. Hope is not a grand gesture. It's not about shouting from the rooftops or declaring to the world that everything is okay when it's not. No, hope is the small, persistent light that flickers even when the world seems wrapped in darkness. It's the realization that every setback, every failure, every painful moment holds within it the seed for something better. And if you hold on long enough, if you can just trust that the storm won't last forever, you'll see hope is the promise that things will get better. So no matter where you find yourself right now, no matter how heavy the burden, let hope remind you that you're not lost, you're not forgotten. It's there, always in the silence, in the quiet moments when you least expect it. You may not see it clearly today, but it's always there, waiting to guide you into the light. This expanded version highlights the idea of hope as a quiet, persistent force that helps people push through tough times without overtly making itself known, building on the core idea that hope is a subtle but essential part of enduring hardship. There is a strength within us all, though sometimes it feels like it's hidden beneath the weight of the world. It's easy to forget, especially when we find ourselves standing at the edge, looking into the vast unknown, unsure if we have the strength to take the next step. But I tell you this, you have faced battles before, moments when you thought you couldn't go on, yet here you are. You stand not because it's been easy, but because somewhere deep inside you've discovered that strength. Strength is not always about muscles or power. It's about the quiet resolve to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead is uncertain. It's in the moments when you're alone with your thoughts, when the world seems to be too much, yet you find a way to stand up again. That strength doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't need to. It's just there, silently urging you to take another step, to carry on. Sometimes it's the act of simply holding on when everything tells you to let go. That right there is strength. And strength that comes from within. It doesn't come from what you see around you or from the approval of others. No, it's forged in the quiet moments and the decisions you make when no one is watching. It's the courage to keep going when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, to face the fear, the doubt, and the uncertainty and say, I'm still here, and I'm not backing down. You see, strength is not just about standing tall when everything is easy. It's about standing firm when everything is falling apart. It's in the decisions you make in the hardest moments, when you decide to get up and keep going, when the rest of the world might be telling you to stop. It's in the heart that refuses to be broken, no matter how many times it's tested. Your strength lies in your ability to keep moving forward, even when you're unsure, even when the world around you seems to crumble. You are stronger than you think. So when doubt creeps in and you question whether you have what it takes, remember this: you've made it this far, haven't you? Through every storm, every setback, you're still here, still fighting. And that strength, that quiet power within you, is never gone. It's always there, waiting for you to tap into it. You've got more within you than you know. And no matter the challenge, that strength will carry you through. In this expanded version, the point is deeply rooted in the idea of inner strength, focusing on resilience, self-belief, and the quiet power that keeps us moving forward, even when things feel impossible. It emphasizes the idea that strength isn't always loud or visible, but is found in the perseverance and decisions we make in moments of hardship. Sometimes progress feels like it's moving at a crawl, like you're stuck in the same place, unable to move forward. It's frustrating, isn't it? You take a step, and then another, only to feel like you're right back where you started. The world seems to rush past you, and you're left wondering if you'll ever reach where you want to be. But let me tell you something important: every step counts. Every small movement, every tiny bit of progress is one more moment you've put behind you. And that's never nothing. You don't have to leap forward in giant strides. In fact, sometimes it's the little steps, the ones that seem insignificant at first, that build the foundation for something much greater. The journey to something meaningful doesn't always happen in bursts of energy. It's in the quiet persistence, the slow but steady progress that over time adds up to something monumental. You might not notice it immediately, but there's movement in every action, every decision, every moment you choose not to give up. Those small steps are the ones that carry you from where you are to where you're going. They are the unseen path that leads you to something greater. Look at the river, how it shapes the land. It doesn't roar and rage, it doesn't make a big scene. But over time, that river carves through stone, reshaping the earth. You see, it's not the force, it's the consistency. The same is true for you. It's not about how fast you move or how much ground you cover at once. It's about keeping that steady pace, even when it feels like you're not making a dent. In time, those steps will add up to miles, and when you look back, you'll see how far you've come. It's easy to look around and compare yourself to others, to wonder why they're so much further ahead. But what you may not see is that their journey, too, was made up of tiny steps. They didn't leap into success. They moved forward just like you, step by step, day by day, until those steps led them to where they are now. And so, too, will yours. In the moments when progress feels slow, remember you don't need to conquer everything at once. The road ahead doesn't need to be finished today. The important thing is that you keep going. You take the next step. And the next. In the end, it's those small, consistent actions that create the bigger picture. So take it one step at a time, no matter how small. Because in time, that steady movement will lead you to something bigger than you could have imagined. In this expansion, the emphasis is on the quiet, steady process of progress, how even small steps, though they may seem insignificant at the time, build up over time to create meaningful change. The message highlights the power of consistency, patience, and perseverance, encouraging you to keep moving forward, no matter the pace. Time has a way of shifting things, whether we notice it or not. You see, when you're in the middle of a storm, it feels like it will never end. The wind howls, the rain pours down, and the world around you seems to bend under the weight of it all. It's hard to imagine that things could ever be different, that the skies will clear, that the storm will pass. But let me assure you, storms always pass. It's a law of nature. The night gives way to day. The clouds break apart to reveal the sun, and before you know it, what once felt overwhelming fades into memory. When you're in the thick of it, when everything feels heavy and unmanageable, it's easy to forget that time is working in the background. Time heals. Time gives you the space to breathe. It gives you the distance to gain perspective. What seems impossible today will, in time, feel like just another chapter in the story of your life. The pain you feel now, the weight you carry, it won't last forever. Nothing lasts forever. And when the storm clears, you will look back and realize that you've made it through. You are still standing, still moving forward, still breathing. The thing about time is that it has a gentle way of erasing the sharp edges of our wounds. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not an immediate fix. But with each passing day, things shift, even if you don't see it right away. A wound heals, a burden lightens, and before you know it, the memory of the struggle no longer feels so raw. Time doesn't erase the lessons learned, but it helps soften the edges of the pain. It gives you the space to grow and move beyond what once held you back. You may not feel it now, but just as the sun rises each day without fail, time is working to restore what's been lost. You won't always be where you are today. Time will take you to places of peace, of hope, of clarity. The challenges you face now won't define you forever. Time will help you move past them, and eventually, those difficult moments will be behind you. They'll become part of your past, not your present. And with each day, you'll find yourself stronger, wiser, and more at peace. When you're stuck in the middle of a storm, it feels like it's everything. But remember, storms don't last forever. They give way to calmer skies, to brighter days. Time, as it moves forward, will lift you from the darkness and carry you into the light. You just have to hold on, trust in the process, and allow time to work its quiet, steady magic. Because better days are coming. You just have to wait for them to arrive, knowing all the while that time is already on your side. In this expansion, the point about time is deeply rooted in the idea of patience and the natural process of healing and change. It emphasizes how, even in the toughest of times, time works in the background to ease pain, bring perspective, and shift situations. The message is one of trust that the passage of time will eventually lead to better days, even if they aren't immediately visible. Resilience is a quiet, unyielding force. It's the thing that keeps you going when every part of you wants to stop, when the world seems to be telling you to turn around and give up. But resilience is not something that comes all at once. It's built over time, like the way a tree grows stronger as it faces the winds, the storms, and the heat. The more it endures, the deeper its roots grow, the harder it is to uproot. You see, resilience isn't about avoiding the hard times or pretending that things are perfect. It's about facing them head on, even when you don't feel ready, even when you don't know how you'll make it through. It's the strength to keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when you feel exhausted, when the weight of the world feels like it's pressing down on your chest, suffocating you. But somehow, you find a way to keep moving. Resilience doesn't mean that you're unaffected by what happens around you. No, it's not a shield that protects you from pain. It's the ability to bend but not break. It's knowing that Yes, you will feel the hurt, the fear, the doubt, but you will not be defeated by it. You will rise again. You will find a way to keep moving forward, no matter how hard the road is. It's that quiet voice inside of you that says, I'm not finished yet. There's a beauty in resilience. It's not in the flashy victories or the moments when the world cheers you on. It's in the moments when no one is watching, when you're standing alone facing the storm and you choose to stand your ground. Resilience is the art of pushing through when no one else expects you to, when it seems like the odds are stacked against you. And it's in those moments that you learn who you truly are. You discover strength you never knew you had. You learn that you can face the fire and not be consumed by it. And even when you stumble, even when you falter, resilience is still there. It's not about perfection. It's about getting up, brushing off the dust, and taking the next step knowing that you're stronger for having faced what you've been through. It's the quiet determination that says, I'm not done yet. I still have more to give. I still have more to live for. Resilience isn't just something that gets you through tough times. It's the thing that helps you rebuild. It's the strength to begin again, to look at the broken pieces and say, I can make something beautiful out of this. It's the faith that even after the hardest battles, there's still a future waiting for you, a future built on the strength you gained from everything you faced. So, when the world feels like it's pulling you under, remember, you've already survived everything you've been through up to this point, and you will keep surviving. You will keep growing. You will keep moving forward because you are resilient. And no matter how many times life knocks you down, resilience will always give you the strength to rise again. This expanded version deeply explores resilience, describing it as a quiet, steady force that allows individuals to endure hardship and find strength in the face of adversity. It emphasizes that resilience isn't about avoiding difficulty, but about enduring and growing through it, constantly evolving and rising after each fall. Hope is a delicate, often fleeting thing, and yet it's what keeps us going when all else seems lost. It's that quiet whisper in the dark that tells you, this too shall pass. Hope isn't always loud. It doesn't always make grand announcements. Sometimes it's the softest voice in the back of your mind, the one that says, hold on, just a little longer. The dawn is coming. You see, hope isn't about pretending that everything is perfect or that the storm you're in will simply disappear. No, hope is more profound than that. Hope is the belief that there is a way through, even when you can't see it. Hope is what drives you to take the next step, even when you're unsure of where the road leads. It's the courage to keep going when the path seems to disappear into the unknown, when everything tells you to turn back. Hope is the spark that lights the fire within us, even when everything feels dark. Hope is not something that falls from the sky or something that is handed to you. It's something you create, something you nurture deep within. It's the decision, day after day, to believe that there's something better ahead. It doesn't matter how many setbacks you face, how many obstacles stand in your way. Hope is what allows you to keep trying, to keep striving, to keep believing that tomorrow something more, something worth reaching for. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Hope is found in the smallest of moments. It's the quiet comfort of knowing that no matter how tough today may be, it is only today. It's in the simple act of waking up in the morning and knowing that the sun will rise, even if the clouds are still heavy. Hope is what gives you the strength to endure, to see beyond the moment and trust that better days are coming, even if you can't see them just yet. When you're in the midst of struggle, hope can seem distant, even unreachable, but that's when it matters most. It's in those moments of darkness that hope becomes your compass, guiding you toward the light, even when it feels like it's miles away. And when you look back, when you stand on the other side of the challenge, you'll realize that it wasn't the absence of hardship that got you through, but the presence of hope, the quiet, unshakable belief that you would not be consumed by it. Hope is what lets you rise again, even after you've fallen. It's the reason you try again and again, even when you failed before. It's the belief that tomorrow will bring something better, something worth the struggle. Hope is the thing that keeps you alive inside, no matter how battered the outside may be. It gives you the strength to carry on, the belief that things will get better even when the world seems to be telling you otherwise. So never lose hope, no matter how tough the road may get, no matter how long the night may seem. Hold on to that quiet belief that there's a light ahead. Hope is not a guarantee, but it is a choice. It's the decision to keep believing, to keep walking toward the unknown, trusting that one day you'll find what you've been searching for. Better days are coming. And hope is the bridge that will carry you across. In this expanded version, hope is presented as a quiet, inner strength, something that's not always obvious but always present, allowing you to endure hardship and continue moving forward. The idea is that hope is not just wishful thinking, but an active, conscious choice that empowers you to push through challenges even when they seem insurmountable. Gratitude has a way of shifting everything. It's the ability to find something, no matter how small, to be thankful for, even in the most challenging of times. It's a quiet power often overlooked, but it's one of the most transformative forces in the world. It doesn't change the hard realities of life, but it changes how you experience them, how you approach them, and most importantly, how you grow through them. When life is at its hardest, it can feel impossible to find a reason to be thankful. The weight of the world can press down on you, and in those moments, it's easy to believe that everything is wrong, that the struggle is too much to bear. But gratitude isn't about denying the pain or pretending everything is okay. It's about finding moments of light in the midst of the darkness. It's in the small, quiet moments, like the sound of rain on your window or the warmth of a meal shared with someone you love, that remind you that even in the hardest times, there is still beauty in the world. Gratitude has a way of transforming your perspective. It shifts your focus from what you don't have or what you've lost to what you do have, to the things that are still good, still worthy of appreciation. It's easy to focus on what's wrong, to dwell on the things that didn't go the way you wanted. But when you actively choose gratitude, you choose to see the goodness that still exists, even in the toughest of circumstances. It might be a kind word from a stranger, a smile from a friend, or the simple fact that you're still here, still breathing. Gratitude teaches you to see the world differently, to find the beauty in even the most challenging moments. It's also about understanding that growth often comes from struggle. Sometimes we can't fully appreciate the blessings we have until we've faced some hardship. It's in the tough times that we learn the most about ourselves, about our capacity for strength, patience, and resilience. Gratitude allows you to look at those struggles not as burdens, but as opportunities to grow. It helps you see that even in difficulty, there is a lesson, a chance to become better, wiser, and stronger. Gratitude also connects us to each other. When you acknowledge the goodness in your life, you recognize that you didn't get there alone. There are people, even strangers, who have made your journey easier, who have offered a kind word or a helping hand when you needed it most. Gratitude is an act of recognition, of understanding that we are all part of something greater than ourselves. It fosters a sense of humility and compassion, reminding us that none of us truly walks this path alone. Every person you meet, every experience you go through, is part of the intricate web of life, and gratitude helps you honor that interconnectedness. And perhaps most importantly, gratitude is a choice. It's easy to focus on the things that go wrong, to dwell on what's missing or what's been taken from you. But gratitude is an act of intention. It's a conscious decision to seek out the good, to choose to be thankful even when the road is rough. The more you choose gratitude, the more it becomes a habit, and the more it begins to shape your worldview. It starts to infuse your everyday life, making you more aware of the small blessings, the everyday miracles, the gifts that we so often take for granted. So no matter where you are in life, no matter what you're going through, take a moment to pause and reflect on what you are thankful for. It doesn't have to be grand. It can be the simplest of things, the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of a bird singing, the comfort of knowing that you're not alone. Gratitude doesn't change the circumstances, but it changes you. It helps you see the beauty in the struggle, the gifts in the hard times, and the strength you never knew you had. It's a powerful tool, one that can shift your entire perspective on life, and it's always there, waiting for you to embrace it. In this expanded version, gratitude is explored as a transformative and empowering force. It's framed as a choice, an active decision to see the world in one's circumstances through a lens of appreciation, even in difficult times. Gratitude shifts perspective, fosters growth, and connects us to others, creating a ripple effect of positivity in our lives. The message is that While challenges are inevitable, gratitude allows us to find light in the darkness and recognize the good in every situation. Patience, often misunderstood, is not a passive waiting game. It is, in fact, a quiet strength, a resolute commitment to trust that things will unfold in their own time. It is the art of understanding that not everything can be rushed, that life has its own rhythm, its own pace, and the beauty of patience lies in its ability to help us move through life with purpose, even when we can't see what's ahead. In this world, we're often conditioned to expect instant results. We live in a time where everything is at our fingertips, where speed is a measure of success, and where waiting feels like a luxury we cannot afford. But patience teaches us that true growth cannot be hurried. It is in the quiet moments of waiting, in the moments when we feel like nothing is happening, that we often find the most profound changes occurring within us. Like a seed that takes time to push through the soil, patience teaches us that things are happening beneath the surface, even when we cannot see them. Patience is not simply the act of enduring, it's the choice to endure with grace, with understanding. It's the decision to accept that life moves on its own schedule, not on ours. There's a peace that comes with that acceptance, a peace that says, I do not need to rush. What is meant for me will find its way to me when the time is right. It's in this peace that you discover the deeper meaning of patience. It's not just about waiting, it's about knowing that you're exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing, even if you can't see the whole picture yet. Patience is also the lesson that things worth having are rarely obtained overnight. Whether it's building a relationship, mastering a skill, or achieving a dream, the most rewarding things require time. They require persistence, endurance, and a willingness to go through the process, step by step, knowing that each moment of effort is one more brick laid in the foundation of something greater. There's wisdom in recognizing that there is no shortcut to depth, no rush to true understanding. You cannot hurry growth, you cannot rush wisdom, and you certainly cannot force the most meaningful moments of life. They come in their own time, and patience is what allows us to savor them when they do. And in those times when we feel like we are stuck in the waiting room of life, patience teaches us another valuable lesson, that waiting doesn't mean we're doing nothing. There's always something happening within us, even if the world around us feels still. Patience encourages us to trust that the work is ongoing, even if it isn't immediately visible. It's in those quiet, seemingly uneventful moments that the real work takes place, the learning, the growing, the becoming. And when the time comes for us to move forward, we will find that we are more ready, more prepared, more capable than we ever realized. Patience is also a profound act of faith. It's the belief that, in time, things will unfold as they should. It's trusting the process, even when the road is long and uncertain. It's the quiet knowing that no matter how much we struggle, the best things in life take time to materialize. Patience doesn't demand that we ignore our struggles or pretend that everything is easy. It simply reminds us that there is power in the waiting, that there is wisdom in accepting life's timing rather than trying to control it. And perhaps one of the most beautiful aspects of patience is that it teaches us to be present. In our rush to get to the next place, to check the next box, we often forget to appreciate where we are right now. But patience helps us slow down, to notice the small things, to savor the journey instead of fixating on the destination. It teaches us to find peace in the present moment, knowing that what we are experiencing today is part of the process that will bring us to the tomorrow we're seeking. So, when life seems to be moving at a pace that feels too slow, remember that patience is not a sign of weakness or a lack of progress. It is a quiet strength, a deep understanding that everything comes in its own time. The seasons change, the seeds grow, and in time, the fruits of our labor will come to bear. Trust in the process. Trust in the waiting. And remember that in patience there is a quiet power that guides you toward your greatest self. This expanded version highlights patience as a powerful, transformative force in our lives. It is framed not as mere waiting, but as an active, graceful process of trust, growth, and acceptance. Patience teaches us to trust the timing of life, to appreciate the small, quiet moments, and to understand that true growth and fulfillment take time. It encourages us to remain steadfast and present, knowing that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. Hope, that quiet whisper in the darkest corners of our hearts, is one of the most profound forces we have. It is not loud or brash, it doesn't demand attention. No, hope is subtle. It is the thread that runs through the fabric of our lives, weaving us together when everything else seems to fall apart. It's the spark that keeps us moving forward, even when the path ahead is uncertain, even when the obstacles seem insurmountable. There are times in life when the weight of the world bears down on us, when the road ahead seems filled with nothing but uncertainty and struggle. Hope is the light that shines faintly in the distance, the promise that things can get better, that there is more to the story than what we see in the present moment. It doesn't deny the difficulties we face, rather, it gives us the courage to keep going despite them. Hope tells us that even in the most challenging of circumstances, there is always something to reach for, something to strive toward. Hope is not the same as wishful thinking. It is not a passive desire for things to change without any effort. No, hope is the quiet confidence that, despite the struggles, there is something within us that will rise up, that will continue to seek a better future. Hope is active. It's the fuel that propels us forward even when the road is long and the journey is difficult. It's the belief that no matter how many setbacks we face, we are still capable of overcoming them. It's the understanding that our story is not defined by our current circumstances, but by our ability to keep writing it, one step at a time. And hope has a way of growing. Like a seed planted deep within the soil, it starts small, almost imperceptible. But when nurtured, when given the care and attention it deserves, hope begins to take root. It grows, spreads, and eventually blooms into something beautiful. Sometimes all it takes is the smallest flicker of hope to transform a person's life. It could be the simple thought that things will get better, the belief that tomorrow might bring new possibilities. That thought, that spark, is enough to give us the strength to keep moving forward, even when the weight of the world tries to hold us back. Hope is also a connector. It binds us together in ways we often fail to see. When we share hope with others, when we offer them a hand when they are struggling, we are giving them the strength to hold on. There's an incredible power in hope shared between people. When someone else believes in us, even when we don't believe in ourselves, it becomes a beacon of light guiding us through the darkness. It's the kindness of a stranger, the encouraging words of a friend, the support of a loved one, all fueled by the same spark of hope that burns within each of us. We pass it on, we share it, and in doing so, we create a network of strength and resilience. Hope is also deeply connected to resilience. It's the force that allows us to bend without breaking. It teaches us that we can endure, that we can withstand the harshest storms, and still emerge on the other side stronger than we were before. Life will test us. It will push us to our limits, but hope is the steady reminder that no storm, no matter how fierce, can last forever. And when we come through on the other side, we are changed. We are more resilient, more capable, and more prepared for the next challenge. Hope is the resilience within us that rises after every fall, the strength to keep going after every setback. And it's important to remember that hope is a choice. There will be times in life when the darkness seems all-encompassing, when it feels like the weight of the world is too much to bear. In those moments, it is easy to surrender, to let despair take over. But hope requires us to make a conscious choice to believe that the future is still worth fighting for, to trust that things can and will get better. It's a choice we must make every day, even when the world tells us otherwise. Hope also reminds us that life is full of possibilities. No matter where we find ourselves, no matter how bleak the present moment might seem, hope reminds us that the future is still unwritten. The story is still unfolding. There are still chapters to be written, and we have the power to shape them. Hope gives us the courage to explore the unknown, to take risks, and to step outside of our comfort zones. It's the belief that no matter how many unknowns lie ahead, we are capable of navigating them, of finding our way through, and coming out stronger on the other side. Hope is a gift. It's the gift that we give ourselves, and it's the gift we give to others. It's the ability to see beyond the present, to believe in the possibility of a better tomorrow. And in this belief, there is strength. There is peace. There is a profound understanding that no matter what happens, we are not defined by our circumstances. We are defined by our capacity to hope, to believe, and to continue forward, even when the journey seems uncertain. So hold on to hope, especially in the darkest times. Let it be the light that guides you, the strength that sustains you, and the belief that carries you forward. Because in the end, hope is not just a feeling, it is a force. A force that, when embraced, can move mountains. This expanded version highlights the depth and power of hope. It's presented as an active force that drives us forward, even in the face of adversity. Hope is framed as a quiet, transformative strength that encourages resilience, fosters connection, and inspires change. It is the belief that no matter how tough life gets, we can endure and ultimately shape a better future. The passage encourages us to choose hope, even when life is at its most challenging. Gratitude is often overlooked, dismissed as something small, something that can easily be forgotten in the chaos of our daily lives. But gratitude, in its purest form, is one of the most powerful forces we have. It is the quiet recognition of the gifts we've been given, the small blessings that fill our lives, often without us even realizing. It's the simple ability to say, thank you, but more than just words, gratitude is a way of seeing the world. A lens through which we begin to truly appreciate everything that surrounds us. In a world that moves so quickly, where we are constantly striving for more, gratitude invites us to pause. It encourages us to take a moment to reflect, to acknowledge what we have, rather than always focusing on what we lack. In our pursuit of success, wealth, or achievement, we often forget to look around and notice the things we already possess: our health, our relationships, the beauty of a sunrise, the comfort of a loved one's touch. Gratitude reminds us that we have so much more than we sometimes realize, and in doing so, it invites peace into our hearts. Gratitude is also a powerful healer. When life seems to knock us down, when we find ourselves facing struggles that seem insurmountable, gratitude has a way of shifting our perspective. It doesn't erase the pain, it doesn't diminish the hardships we face, but it offers us a way to see beyond them. It helps us remember that even in the darkest times, there is still something to be thankful for. It might be as simple as a kind word from a stranger, or the warmth of a cup of tea on a cold day. Those small moments of grace, when we take the time to recognize them, can be the very things that carry us through the storm. Gratitude doesn't make us immune to pain, but it can help us find healing amidst it. And what's truly remarkable about gratitude is how it grows. The more we practice it, the more it multiplies. When we make gratitude a regular part of our lives, we start to see the world differently. We begin to notice the good in everything around us. It might be the smile of a passing stranger, the laughter of a child, the comfort of a familiar song, or the support of a friend. The more we focus on the positive, the more we recognize all the blessings we already have. Gratitude becomes a habit, an attitude that shapes how we experience the world. It opens our eyes to the beauty and abundance that surrounds us even in the most ordinary moments. Gratitude also has the power to deepen our relationships. When we are grateful for the people in our lives, when we express that gratitude, it strengthens the bonds we share. Saying thank you is a small act, but it carries great meaning. It tells someone that they are valued, that their presence in our lives matters. It acknowledges their kindness, their love, their effort. And in doing so, it deepens the connection we have with them. Gratitude transforms our relationships, turning them into something more profound, more meaningful. It reminds us that relationships are not to be taken for granted. Each person who crosses our path brings something unique and valuable into our lives, and gratitude is our way of honoring that. Gratitude is also a teacher. It teaches us to value the simple things. The small, often overlooked moments of life hold immense value, and gratitude invites us to discover that. It teaches us that joy can be found not only in the grand milestones, but in the everyday moments we often take for granted. It might be in the comfort of home, the beauty of a walk in the park, the taste of a favorite meal, or the sound of laughter. Gratitude opens our eyes to these simple pleasures and teaches us to cherish them. It shifts our focus away from what we don't have and toward what we do, allowing us to fully embrace the richness of life in all its forms. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a practice. It is something we can choose every day, something we can cultivate within ourselves. It is a decision to see the good in the world, to acknowledge the beauty in the mundane, and to express appreciation for the blessings, big and small, that fill our lives. When we make gratitude a part of who we are, it transforms our perspective. enriches our relationships, and nurtures our inner peace. It reminds us that no matter how tough life gets, there is always something to be thankful for, something that can help us keep going, even in the face of adversity. And that, in itself, is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. This expansion of gratitude highlights it as a transformative force in our lives. It illustrates how gratitude can shift our perspective, deepen relationships, and bring peace even in difficult times. The passage emphasizes how gratitude is not just a feeling, but a powerful practice that connects us to others, to the present moment, and to the deeper meaning in life. It encourages the reader to cultivate gratitude as a way of being, offering healing, joy, and connection to something greater.